Recovery is a process of decisions podcast. This podcast is a weekly revealing of the recovery journey of peer support specialist Trent Thomas. Join him on his internal research-driven dive into what to and what not to do in sustaining recovery. His weekly episodes demonstrate that you are not alone, and what we can't do alone, we can do together. This life is hills and valleys, but we were built for struggle. These weekly episodes are a journey into his life lessons as he fulfills his daily mandate to help someone other than himself. Welcome. The Recovery is a Process of Decisions podcast. Welcome to the Recovery is a Process of Decisions podcast. This is Trent Thomas, your recovery peer support specialist. Tonight's episode is entitled Declare That God Is. It is not my intention to prove God is, because He is. But it is my mission to declare how my God works in my life, how He has saved an absolute wretch like me, someone who has totally unworthy of life, a liar, a thief, a womanizer, a cheat, unworthy of trust or love. Yet my God saw fit to fashion me into the respectable, humble, trustworthy, honest, respectful of women, lover of life, grateful believer I have become. I now have a duty to demonstrate the power of my God, a God who can and will save you from yourself, a God who measured up and shows up so you can measure up and show up. Today I am present. I am accountable. Today I participate in my recovery daily. Today I love and I am loved. Today I help and I am helped. Today I have found serenity, a serenity where I know now everything is already all right. I am no longer miserable, living in misery, but rather joyfully living in the abundance that comes from the God of my understanding. Today I am permitted to witness the birth of my first grandson. Today I am permitted to attend the graduation of my daughter, who received a master's degree. Today I am present when my son called and asked for help. Today I understand that there is a God who loves me and saved me from myself. God knows what we know not. He knows the ending before the beginning. God cannot ignore sin. Therefore, He allows the court consequences of bad decisions. However, God recovers in love. His forgiveness is all-encompassing. He forgives completely and lifts one up and restores sanity and souls. To demonstrate God's capacity for forgiveness, we have the biblical story of the prodigal son. In that story, we saw how the father ran to his prodigal son when he returned. We saw that the son could not even ask for forgiveness because the father had already forgiven him. In fact, the father threw a party inviting everyone to celebrate the return of his son. So great is the forgiveness capacity of God because He knows the possible consequences before they occur. He knows the pain and suffering before it even occurs. God tempers His mandate for consequences with the compassion of recovery. He permits a dusting off and healing, accompanied with the opportunity to just do better, to make better decisions. With God, all things are possible and achievable. And with that, I do not have to prove the existence of God, but rather highlight how His mercy has been demonstrated in my life. God exists, and in my story, one can clearly see I did not save myself, but rather power greater than me has and continues to save me from myself. This power I call God. My God revives life and breathes clarity and institutes serenity. Recovery is God initiated and God sustained. God absolutely saved me from me. There is no recovery without God. Today, I am entirely grateful to God for saving me and restoring my sanity and giving me another opportunity to just do better. I am better today than yesterday, and that is the only proof I need to demonstrate God exists. This is Trent Thomas on another episode of Recovery is a Process of Decisions podcast. You can now subscribe to this podcast and receive special in-depth episodes for subscribers only, as well as a private personal email account to communicate directly with me for comments and show suggestions. In addition, I will be doing podcast shoutouts to all those subscribers who request shoutouts. As always, your inspiring comments can be left at transnetrecover.com/podcast. Please feel free to follow me on Facebook and Instagram, #TransNetRecover. Thank you and have a blessed day.